today I'm going to give you a short demo of the Aurora scheduling software from the point of view of how it would fit in with the Alkeme system. So what I'm showing you here is a PERT chart showing a reasonably complicated statement of work divvied up by different work statements. So the different fill colors represent different work statements. If I hover over one of these, I can see what resource requirements there are, specifically which labor requirements there are. There may be additional equipment requirements. These have already been allocated to labor resources up above. At this point, it is roughly equivalent to what you would get if a human had gone through and spent several hours in Alkeme manually allocating labor resources, basically walking through the PERT plot and seeing what labor resources this needs and then dragging it up and so on and so forth. So what I want to show you today is the advantages of automated scheduling, specifically the potential advantages in terms of schedule quality and nimbleness. So I have adjusted the schedule settings. I have not changed the model at all, but I have changed some of the criteria for the way in which it picks what to work next and what resources to select, so that you can kind of see the difference in quality between a so-so schedule and a good schedule. So I'm going to go ahead and hit schedule. So again, all of the durations are the same, the resource requirements are the same, the precedence is the same. And yet, if I look at this, I can see that I have cut a couple weeks off of my schedule as a result of slightly different schedule settings. And it's the difference between schedule settings that have not been optimized, they're sort of generic, versus schedule settings that have been optimized for the domain. So first, I can get the work done much more efficiently, and this has updated all of my resource allocations so that now the labor assignments reflect the latest and greatest state. So the first benefit of automated scheduling is that it's able to give you a shorter schedule because it can figure out a good order in which to do the work to make the best use of your resources, and then it selects the resources effectively based on any certifications or teaming requirements you may have. Now, the secondary advantage is with updating. So in this PERT, you can see that different work statements are somewhat independent of each other. So some of them I could flip around without impacting the broader schedule, but some things I might have a delay and it would be expected to have pretty major consequences. So I'm just going to look for a kind of crux job. So this particular job, you can see it feeds into all of this orange work statement. So if I just kind of zoom out here a little bit, you can see that the orange work is pretty spread out. If I come over here to the Gantt chart, you can see that I have a lot of this orange work throughout the course of the schedule. So I'm going to add a parts delay, but before I do that, I'm going to just add a snapshot so that we can run a comparison against it. So this is going to be my efficient allocation as opposed to my inefficient allocation. So this way I'll have something to compare against once I make the change. So this is an important installation or update activity for a major part. Let's say that I had a testing activity earlier in the sequence to see whether I needed a new one, and it flunked the test, so I do in fact need a new one. So I am going to say that as a result of that, this had been scheduled for January 13th. Let's say that I hadn't thought I would need a part, so there was no part restriction. Now there is going to be a part restriction. The earliest they can get it to me is the beginning of February. So now I'm going to go ahead and schedule again. And let's see how that impacts my schedule. So if I come back to my burn down chart, I'm going to add in my efficient allocation. So the blue is my sort of so-so initial allocation. The green was my super happy allocation. And the red is the allocation now that I do have that delay. Now, please note that I did a delay of about 2 weeks for that particular activity. The overall project delay is less than a week. And that is because with the dynamic scheduling, we're just able to reorder the work and get the remainder of the work done as efficiently as possible. Thank you so much.